Thank you. Good afternoon. This is Thursday, April the 10th, 2025, and we are opening up the public meeting held under Section 34 of the Planning Act is declared open. The application for the public meeting agenda today is for public consultation purposes only, and we will be addressing the matters at future council meetings. Prior to starting, I would ask people if they have cell phones to ensure that they are either on airplane mode or turned off for the meeting. Thank you. At this time, I'd ask staff to please confirm that the required notice was given for subject application in accordance with the requirements of the Planning Act.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The property owners within 120 meters of the subject property were notified of this public meeting, and the application notice was posted on the Township's website, and that meets the notification requirements under the Planning Act. Perfect.
Thank you very much. So for all those present at the public meeting, both in the room present and online present, you'll have the opportunity to speak in favor or opposition to the application. Any and all comments and information submitted, whether orally or in writing, including identifying information, becomes part of the public record and could be made publicly available at any point, including on the Township's website and other electronic forms of publication in accordance with the Planning Act requirements. Any person wishing to receive notice of decision regarding the application being considered must send an email request to the Township office immediately following this meeting, and in all cases must be received prior to the date of the decision of Council on this matter. Pursuant to the provisions of the Planning Act, the rights and limitations of appeal to the Ontario Land Tribunal with respect to the decision of a Council on the application are as follows. If a person or public body would otherwise have an ability to appeal the decision of Township of Greater Madawaska to the Ontario Land Tribunal, but the person or public body does not make oral submissions at the meeting or make written submissions to the Township of Greater Madawaska before the bylaw is passed, the person or public body is not entitled to appeal the decision. If a person or public body does not make oral submissions at a public meeting or make written submissions to the Township of Greater Madawaska before the bylaw is passed, the person or public body may not be added as a party to the hearing of an appeal before the Ontario Land Tribunal, unless, in the opinion of the tribunal, there are reasonable grounds to do so. And finally, and additionally, subsection 34(19) of the Planning Act defines the parties that are eligible to appeal the decision to the Ontario Land Tribunal. And just before moving on, the gentleman has the application. Thank you for signing in. So I'd ask staff at this time if you could please describe the purpose and effect of the proposed zoning bylaw amendment related to file number ZB 2506.4, submitted by Chris Fleming on behalf of 134499696 Canada Inc., and summarize the written comments received. Thank you.
Thank you. So the lands that are the subject of the zoning amendment application this afternoon are also the subject of a consent, a severance application with Renfrew County. That purpose of that application was a lot addition, or also what we call a lot line adjustment from the property at 254 Taddy Hill Road to be added onto the golf course property with a civic address of 709 Berryville Road. So the severance application was approved by Renfrew County, and one of the conditions was that the severed parcel be rezoned to the same zone as the golf course. So that's the application that the committee has before them this afternoon. The parcel is just under 6 hectares, or about 14 acres in size. It doesn't have any frontage on the road, so it's a landlocked parcel. When it's added on to the golf course property, when the consent, the severance is completed, it will enlarge the golf course property. So the zoning amendment application is to put the severed parcel in the same zone as the golf course property. So it will go from a rural zone to a tourist commercial zone. There is no development proposed as part of this zoning amendment. That is solely the purpose today, is to put the almost 6 hectare parcel in the same zone as the golf course. So that's the consideration for the committee today. As I said, there's no development plans related to this application. Any future development that might happen on this severed parcel or the golf course property would be subject to Planning Act applications based on whatever the developer might be proposing. So if there's expansion modification to the golf course. It is a commercial zone, so they would be subject to site plan control approval. If there's a plan of subdivision, that's a subdivision application to Renfrew County, future zoning amendment, and so on. So future development proposals might bring, or if there are future development proposals, those will bring other applications in the future. So again, the application today is a condition of severance to put the severed parcel in the same zone as the golf course property, so that when they merge together, they will all be in the same zone.
Thank you. So moving to the applicant, if the applicant or your representative wishes to speak on the matter.
No, it was well covered. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Does anyone either online or in the audience wish to speak in favor of the amendment? If you could take the seat in the microphone, please. Thank you. And your name for the record.
Yeah, my name is Dave Wallace, and I'm the owner of the parcel that it's being severed to Chris here, and I'm 100% in favor of this motion.
Perfect. Thank you. Any others in favor? All right, thank you. Moving on, is there anyone wishes to speak in opposition to the amendment in the audience and online? All right, seeing none. No hands raised online. All right. And to council. Do council have questions on the application before us? Perfect, thank you. I'm assuming after that the applicant has no further need or desire to take the mic. Thank you. Then with that, this therefore completes the public meeting process. Council is going to give careful consideration to the comments received in the application. And if there are no other comments from the floor from council, I'll declare the public. Oh, just a hands up?
Whether you want to open that back up
Okay,
again
thank
for
you.
option, or
Yes. Go ahead,
it's actually
Paula.
Dan. It's a Dan.
Hi, it's Dan. Yeah, I have a question. So if there's no development plan, why are wells being put into the property? There's been a lot of work that I've noticed walking through it that there's wells now have been drilled.
Thank you. So it is my understanding that the developer is considering some development options on this piece of property and doing studies, studying the groundwater. That's why you're seeing test wells and doing other studies to support a potential future development. I don't know if Mr. Fleming wants to speak very briefly to that. The purpose of the meeting today is just this zoning amendment, so I don't want to get too far down a rabbit hole talking about future development plans, but yes, that's my understanding is some development is being considered and the property owner is doing studies to support that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Fleming, if you could take the microphone.
Yeah, we were encouraged by the County of Renfrew in their initial review of our application for this severance to, initiate for future planning of some residential development, a test well, and to prove the hydrogeo capabilities of the property. I chose to go ahead and apply for the rezoning of this severance as part of the county requirements to be able to attach this severed piece of land to the golf course property so that our engineers and scientists and environmentalists could continue to include that land in their studies and to be able to propose a subdivision proposal to the county, which hasn't been applied for yet, but we have studies underway to see what we will be able to do or what we can't do in that area. So in this case, the cart is in front of the horse a little bit. It's premature to be able to say, yes, there will be a subdivision going forward, but very soon, and if I may, on May 1st, I will be voluntarily conducting a community meeting at the Highlands Social House to share this information, as I do expect that our professionals will be in a position to give us some direct answers from their research, which has been ongoing for almost a year now, to what we can do with this zone.
Thank you. If I may, I think we're drifting off of the application here is just for the attachment of the severance. I think your explanation was helpful.
Correct.
But I think we want to defer from going into the micro details of future plans, because that's a separate situation that will come back to council at a later date. Today's discussion and the public meeting is specifically and narrowly focused on the application before us to attach the land.
If I may, there was a test well drilled on the severed portion, the application for severance. That's why I'm addressing it, that it's our intent to be able to prove that the land will be capable to, create a residential plan going forward.
Perfect. Thank you. If you could take the microphone and share. And again, specific to the topic before the planning committee today is just on the application for the zoning amendment.
Okay, I just have a question as to,
Microphone is green?
oh, yeah,
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, can I get a name too, please? Sorry.
Anita Albany.
Thank you.
I just have a question as to why the property has to go from rural to tourism commercial. Why can't it stay as rural until it might be developed or such time? Why can't it stay the same?
Fair question. It could technically stay. Properties can have two different zones on them. The condition imposed by Renfrew County was that the severed parcel be placed in the same zone as the golf course. So this application filed is satisfying the wording of the condition from Renfrew County.
I see. Okay.
I guess I'll just add, in the future, if a residential development proceeds, the property may need to go through another zoning amendment. The abutting Pheasant Run and the other abutting streets are in residential zones, so there may be a future zoning amendment to a residential zone on some of the lands, but for now, the application is satisfying Renfrew County's requirement to put the severed parcel in the same zone as the lands that are being enlarged.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Table in the microphone, please, and your name as well, please.
Mike Pratt. I don't want to get kicked out of here because I might want to come back again, but I have a comment to do with the test wells, if I may, and that's it.
As it relates to the attachment of the land?
Yeah. I, for one, I live in the area, and I'm a ratepayer. I'm all for development if it's done right. My concern was, and I think I might have phoned a couple of you with the test wells. Again, if there's a study that shows that there's a capability down the line there's enough water, my major concern is, number one, all of our wells up in that area are 300 to 400 feet deep. So I'd be very interested I'm sure that'll be made public, any water hydrology studies. And then obviously down the line, if there's any zoning changes, like multi-housing units would concern me, but if it's residential and it's done right, I'd be all for it.
Perfect.
That's it. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I was remiss in not telling the committee there was one letter of opposition filed, so I should just bring that to your attention in the public forum here. It was from a resident on Pheasant Run who wrote a letter objecting to the zoning amendment and raising some concerns with environmental impacts, traffic impacts, groundwater impacts. And again, those are related, I would say, specifically to a future development proposal at this time. You've heard the intent of the application, which is just to support the lot addition and put the property in the same zone, but I wanted to make sure that was on the public record. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you. All right, so with that, I will go back and just restate that this does now complete the public meeting process. And council will take in and carefully consider the comments, both verbal from the floor, thank you very much, and from those online, as well as the written comments. on the application before us. So with that, no further comments. I'll declare this public meeting closed at 3:15. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful afternoon.